Radio Raheem here with Robert Garcia. You know, I just pulled you away from Abner Mares. I saw the love there, man. You guys really have a good relationship. It kind of reminds me of you and Brandon. Talk to me about like what the relationship is like, the success that you've had recently, and you know, you talked to me before about lessons you learned with Brandon, things you won't repeat. How is your relationship unfolding with Mares, and how is it different?
Look, it's awesome. You know, it's unbelievable the way we communicate with each other. We are very close, you know, but like I told Abner, you know, I want to keep it as a, you know, trainer-fighter relationship, because I gave him an example. After his last fight, him, his friends, everybody, they invited me to come over, celebrate, music, drinks, and all that. I said, look, Abner, I appreciate the invite, but if we start doing that, then the same thing, then we're gonna go back to Brandon Rios, Robert Garcia, where we would drink together and we just became friends, and then a lot of respect was lost. You know, I don't want to do that with none of my fighters. Abner listened for a full year, did everything I told him to do, and we got good results. I just don't want to mess it up. I want to keep that same relationship where it's the respect. He respects me as a trainer, and not just as a friend that we could go have a drink together or go hang out. None of that. So that's the relationship we have, and I want to keep it like that, not only with Abner but with all of my fighters.
You know, another fighter whose trainer brags about him doing everything he's told to do is Triple G. I got to put your analysis hat on. You know, we saw Triple G Brook, who Triple G did stop, but Brook had some success, and then Jacobs took him the distance. Where do you think Triple G is at now? Has those two fights changed your opinion of him at all? And how did you see that Jacobs-Triple G fight? Who won it?
Look, Triple G is a hell of a fighter. Tremendous power, obviously. Abel Sanchez has done a great job with them since he started to now. You know, they've accomplished so much and have done well. You know, I think Triple G at 35 might already be looking at maybe the last few years of his career, and it's not his fault. He never had those fights earlier in his career, you know, because there was nobody at 160, or at least nobody that wanted to fight him. So he had to fight guys that very few people knew who they were. Now that he started to do it, so it might be a little bit too late. You know, Jacobs had a great game plan, fought smart, fought great. I think Triple G did enough to win, but it was close. It was close. I think Triple G 4 or 5 years ago would have knocked out Jacobs. I think the problem with Triple G now, well, it's not really a problem because he's still fighting, still selling out the Madison Square Garden, still making millions of dollars, but his age. I think at 35, you know, he's been in boxing all his life. The dieting, the sacrifices, it all comes to the day comes where your body might not be the same anymore.
You know, a fight that I remember you telling me you're looking forward to is Garcia Thurman. For my purposes, I wasn't as excited at the end of the fight as I was at the beginning. I'm wondering how you saw that fight. Were you satisfied with the action in the ring? Did you think Thurman, him not being active kind of in the last 3 rounds, was a disappointment, or was it just smart boxing?
I feel the same way as you do. You know, the fight started off great. Before the fight, everybody was excited about the fight, but when the fight ended, it kind of gave everybody that, you know, that bad taste. You know, where business-wise, smart-wise, Thurman did what he had to do, but giving away those last 3 rounds by just moving and trying to, you know, he was way ahead on points. I think he clearly won, but doing that the last three rounds, I think it did take a lot of excitement from what we expected. But you know, we can't blame him either. You know, Mayweather always did it. De La Hoya did it a couple times, where, you know, you have the fight so clear. Why would you take any chances? You know, I'm a perfect example of that. When I fought Ben Taki, I had the fight all under control, and then the last round I get a little careless and I got knocked out. So I don't blame Keith Thurman.
You understand?
I understand, but the fans, the people maybe were a little disappointed, but other than that, you know, he won. He earned his win, but it does, you know, for the fans, it does give a little bit of bad taste.
Well, a guy who had the fight, seeming to have the fight one-handedly, but fought every round, gave us a lot of excitement this past weekend, was Linares over there across the pond. He was a really busy fighter. It was impressive. Everybody was talking about Mikey Garcia versus Linares. He was even part of the broadcast, so it's obviously something they're trying to put together. How do you feel about that fight? Where is Mikey's strengths there?
Look, definitely that's the fight that Mikey wants, and even though they had already given Mikey a date in June, I think Mikey's willing to wait 1 or 2 months later to be able to do that fight. Mikey wants to fight Linares, and it seems like Linares also wants to fight Mikey. Linares looks sensational. I think he fought a great fight. His trainer Salas is doing a great job with him. He's on top of the world right now with those last 2 wins. So it would be a huge fight, especially if it happens somewhere here in Southern California. We would love to have it, but at the end of the day, it's the promoters. He's with Golden Boy, taking promotions. Now they have to do something with HBO. He just fought on HBO, so I think the fight could happen, but it does have to go into negotiations. I don't think Linares is going to want to do it coming in without his own promoter promoting the fight. I don't know. There's a lot of negotiations, but that's the fight Mikey wants, and I'll be more than happy to do it. But it won't be an easy fight. Linares fought really well, really well.
Break down the matchup for me.
Look, Linares is very smart in the ring, and he's very fast, very fast. So it would be more of a. It wouldn't be that much action in the fight. It would be more of a chess match because Mikey's very smart in the ring. Mikey doesn't make mistakes, and when Mikey throws, it's because he knows he's gonna land. But Linares is very fast, so it would be interesting. Right now, until we have the fight made, then we'll get into studying and coming up with a game plan. But right now, I could tell you it wouldn't be easy. It would be a difficult fight, but it would be a great fight for the fans.
And lastly, Carl Frampton and Leo Santa Cruz is obviously on Abner's mind. When I talked to him, he's like, I want one of those 2 guys. You're going to have to wait for that fight, we're sure. They're going to fight a 3rd time. Who wins that fight? And knowing that your fighter is probably going to face the winner, who would you rather to win that fight? Are those 2 different people?
Look, it doesn't matter whoever wins. Leo is huge here in the United States, especially here in LA. So it would be a huge fight in LA. But Frampton would be huge. Just knowing that all this, people from his country, the Irishmen, they're great fans, and we've been there with Mikey on those 2 undercards when he fought Leo. So it's unbelievable. I wouldn't mind. It'd be a great fight against either one of them. I know that's all Abner wants. After Abner won his fight against Jesus Cuellar, I told Abner, look, you're in a great position. We could defend it. We could get Johnny Gonzalez a rematch, which I wouldn't mind getting, or we could fight the IBF champion.
Get Selby or Russell.
They were Selby, Lee Selby. I said we could do some of those fights and then get the big one against Santa Cruz. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to go in there again to fight the best. So I don't blame him either. Just like Mikey. Mikey wants to fight huge fights. Mikey doesn't want to just fight any former world champion. That doesn't mean anything to him. Mikey wants to fight world champions, and if they're not world champions, at least with a name that will sell good and will do really good views, good numbers. That's what Mikey wants, and that's what Abner wants too. So I got to support and respect that too.
You've seen both fights. They were so close. I'm talking about Frampton, Santa Cruz. The rubber match. If you had to put your money on one of them, who's winning it?
I put it on Leo Santa Cruz because look, the first one Frampton won, and I know that they never used any excuses, but his dad was sick, was going through chemotherapy. I know he couldn't perform, even though he said he was in he was in great shape. He just couldn't perform, knowing that his dad had been diagnosed with cancer and was sick. Then in the rematch, we seen the difference. He fought really good, really smart because his dad was there. So I think the third fight, I think Leo Santa Cruz wins comfortable again.
Lastly, you and I have a long history, you and Freddie. It's just kind of funny for the few of us who are there in Macau to see you now here in Roach's gym. Are you guys at a place we can laugh about that yet?
Definitely. Look, all that happened, I honestly believe it was kind of like a promotion set up to build up the fight, because the way they set it up, the times that they gave me, stuff like that, which we don't need to go back to that. It was at that time, it was more personal, stuff like that, but man, you know, now we could laugh about it. You know, I'm here at Freddie's gym. It's actually a great build. I have been upstairs before when Mikey was sparring Pacquiao, but I had never been to this one in the first floor. It's a huge gym. You know, it's a place where he could do private training for his main stars. It's awesome. I wish I could have something like that. This is unbelievable. It's a great gym, and I'm glad to be here. You know, I was walking in thinking, is somebody gonna kick me out? But nah, you know, that's, you know, all that's in the past. We're here. We shook hands, and I have nothing against them.
It's a great thing to see grown men, gentlemen, professionals bury the hatchet, move on, be good friends at the end of it all. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. A legend in the sport, Radio Raheem with Robert Garcia.